All right, 5:00 on a Monday. Let's do this. Let's hit the books. Part of the Hammer Betting Network, alongside the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire Zach Phillips. Graciously, we welcome his presence after a month off for him. Or no, he just had other obligations. I'm merely Brad Powers. Before we talk the nuclear bomb play that I have in women's college basketball game of the century. Before we get into that, before we talk college football, before we talk college hoops and anything else on that beautiful mind of Joey Knish's, before I get into all that, let me remind everybody that Hit the Books is brought to you by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to use multiple sports books. You always want to get the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book for games, futures, and player props. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. You can download the app today. If you're looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/hitthebooks, or you can hit the link in the description. If you sign up through this page, it does help support the show. Knish, I haven't talked to you for a little bit. It's been about 10 days, bud. How'd the tournament treat you, and how's everything going?
You know what? Tournament's actually been all right here. Did decent on the only had a few spot plays there tournament wise, but you know what, they went okay. Wouldn't say it was too high volume for me. I'm not a big CBB futures guy in terms of building the folio for all that. So I'm not I'm not a big Fez guy with having a lot of the numbers in there. So I don't have much riding on the end, the end of it here. But overall, can't complain about the tournament. Good little nice Easter weekend, and good to be back on with yourself. How about you? How's your tournament rolling and everything?
Second round, I tapped out. Nothing like I had big, but I just got annihilated on that Saturday and Sunday. So I just didn't bet much Sweet 16. Speaking of Easter, we get this couple days ago. Moretto, texts us. We're gonna have a show. It's Easter Monday. Have you ever fucking heard of Easter Monday before? Like these magical holidays. Like, of course we're gonna do the show.
In Canada they got. Listen, I mean, if the pizza man needs to throw on some, holiday pay, I understand it. But listen, I no. Usually, at least at the company I'm at now, and companies I've been at, it's like the Good Friday.
Good Friday's more likely.
Yeah. The Easter Monday's never really.
I never heard of that before. Easter Monday.
Just totally out of the blue, and you're the first person I've. The old man, Joey Knish Sr., calls me today and says, "I hit a pick 4." So pick 3, pick 4. A lot of the states have them. Guy's been playing the pick 3, pick 4 for 50 average. I said since before they had machines. First time, and I was like, no way. Read me off the ticket. Mind you, this was 3 weeks ago. He just went to his guy at the store, the beer store, and chose him in. Legitimately hit the pick 4 for I think $6,000 or $7,000. So
oh wow,
first time in history that now lifetime that probably puts him down about 6
or 7 grand. Yeah.
But
I had an
with a pick 4 winner. He's got to go to the lottery office tomorrow and cash it in. So I'll if he doesn't stroke out, he'll be a little bit richer tomorrow.
I had an aunt and uncle that won not the millions, but it was $4 million lottery like 30 years ago.
Well, what, like the state lottery?
The state lottery back in the day. They won $4 million. So that's the only thing that I know. And then of course I know of one particular gentleman that has won a couple of contests.
Yeah.
And had the balls to say that he's unlucky is what he said. I mean, according to this guy, he's unlucky. So yeah, I hear you on that. Any other things happened before? You know what? I'm just gonna come out and do it. Everybody that's watching right now, I'm not gonna beat around the bush, make you wait 30 minutes. I'm gonna tell you my play, and we go head to head if you disagree, because I know everyone's gonna be watching it tonight. How is LSU an underdog to Iowa? I love LSU. My biggest bet of the tournament, I don't care if it's women's, men's, my biggest college basketball bet that I made so far this season is on LSU. +2
Right,
and
so
money
tonight's
line.
game,
Tonight's game, LSU +2 and money line. I bet both. I don't get it. I think obviously Caitlin Clark's the best player on the court, but the better team is LSU. I don't care about Kim Mulkey's, is she a good person or her politics or whatnot? She's a better coach than the Iowa coach. I don't think anybody can argue that. I don't get it. I mean, last year's game was an annihilation, and Iowa played all right. I mean, Caitlin Clark hit like 8 threes, and they still got crushed in that game. So tell me where I'm wrong. Anybody in the chat that follows women's college hoops, I don't get it. I looked at like scoring margin. I like the strength of schedule. I don't see how LSU's not a short favorite here. I'll take the +2 and money line.
Listen, if you see a little bit light, I just joined you there. I mean, listen, I tend to. Now, I'm not going to pretend like Joey Buckets has been grinding the tape here for the women's game, but I would tend to agree with you just from a little bit of cursory following that I've seen, and I really thought when they added Haley Van Lith, a name drop there, mostly because she's a little
for obvious reasons.
Yeah. But like that they were going to be kind of the runaway team. But I mean, South Carolina obviously looks like the Yukon of the women's scene. But I'm with you. I'll join some +2. I think a little hashtag wrong team favorite here.
Yeah, I mean I do follow it a little bit. Angel Reese missed a couple games early. I think they lost one of those games. I mean, a couple of the other losses for LSU this season was against the mighty South Carolina team. I look at the strength schedules. They're pretty comparable. Maybe you can make a case that Iowa played a slightly tougher schedule. But I mean, scoring margin, everything's there. I mean, okay, Caitlin Clark's the best player, but I would say that the second, third, fourth, maybe fifth best players on the court are all on LSU, plus the coach. I mean, the only thing I've asked around, people are telling me, well, maybe the fix is in to get Caitlin Clark back to the Final Four. I mean, I hear you. That's big business, but Mulkey and LSU are big business too. I mean, to LSU, South Carolina after the fisticuffs, that's going to be a big game if they get them matched up. So, yeah, LSU for me. I bet it is the biggest college basketball bet I made all year. I don't see it. Yeah, Mickey Hill in the chat. Yeah, I was looking. Trust me, is there a Ken Pom for women? Yeah, I was looking for just a basic power rating to see, hey, do we have a Caitlin Clark premium here? I just wanted some basic power rating. I couldn't find anything. But all right, there you go. That's your thermonuclear atomic bomb Elite Eight college basketball, women's college basketball game of the century, LSU. For me.
There we go. I'm in. I'm in. I play. I actually bet a little college basketball or women's college for a couple of guys. Let me see what they think.
See what they say. I mean, last year I bet LSU last year. It steamed against me. People were betting Iowa in the game. I don't see it. I mean, LSU killed them on the boards. I don't see anything why it wouldn't be different this year. So we'll see. Josh in the chat, her hoop stats has good info. Angel isn't really that great either, but LSU has a big size and strength advantage. Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese, certainly hasn't lived up to her part this year, but she's still a good player. Haley Van Lith is there. The Johnson girl at point guard's there for LSU. I don't see it for Iowa. All right, that's enough of that. Anything else you want to talk about on your mind? I'm going to give you someone else another big betting nugget here. There's no win totals or anything out for this team specifically, and this is in the freaking weeds, but something is wrong in the Northeast part of the country, specifically in the state of Massachusetts. UMass is getting decimated. The portal's not even open right now.
Yeah.
They've lost 4 starters already in the last week as far as the portal. Their 1,000-yard rusher running back that's back, probably by far their best player on offense. Word is he's going to Ohio State, and he's going to get more money to be 4th or 5th string in Ohio State than at UMass. So keep an eye on UMass, a team that I thought was trending up. By up, I mean, hey, they're no longer the worst team in the country, worst program in the country. I'd like some of the things I've seen from Don Brown the last couple of years. They're probably going to be the worst team in the country. Maybe Kennesaw State, the newbie, is the only team close to them. So, yeah, keep an eye on that. Not good right now for UMass.
I can add there is I know during the end of the Don Brown era at Michigan, things got real. I don't want to say ugly. It never really hit the public, but he basically got not fired per se, but told to pursue other opportunities. And there was quite a rift between Harbaugh and Don Brown, especially after getting ransacked by Ohio State running his same scheme for the whatever it was, the second or third year in a row. So I don't think he was, anybody. There was a little bit of, and I'm sure Don hasn't gotten any, any more friendlier in his old age. So yeah, I would say, and maybe as you're saying, maybe the program has absolutely zero money, like no NIL whatsoever to speak of. So
they lost that the Kasula, is that his name? He went back to Michigan. I kind of like him. I've seen him in interviews. I think he's not terrible. So he went back to Michigan on the staff. So that's a loss on the offensive side of the ball. So yeah, nothing's out yet, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be more on the fade on UMass when it comes to season win totals and whatnot. Price dependent, obviously. Mike in the chat. Let's talk NFL draft, which is coming up. Took Daniels to go number 2 at plus 110. What do you guys think? Well, I mean, he's ahead of the odds. Isn't he minus money favorite right now, like minus 150-ish?
Yeah, short. Yeah, like, I mean, some places a little shorter.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I don't is like, my only thought there would be, I think you got, obviously you're ahead of it. You can probably get out if you want to at some point. I don't buy the McCarthy stuff at 2 or 3. Like I don't buy it whatsoever. And that's I think it's way too much. So I just don't see him cracking into that top 3 realm. So I still believe it's going to be, one of the 3 that people have been talking about forever. And I would lean that Daniels at 2. Again, have I put a lot of money behind this? No, but you got a plus money there. I think you just hold it and roll with it for now. And as we get closer, you're still, and you've mentioned this on last time around, like, you still don't get the real solid info until maybe a week, 10 days out, where people are starting to get, I think, you're still early enough in the process where outside of, Caleb Williams at 1, there's still plenty of decision. I will say my one, if you want and I've had this take all along, and the one prop that I've actually bet is like, I don't believe the Cardinals are trading back, and I believe they're taking Marvin Harrison. And I've bet some money behind that. I don't think the pick 4 is for sale unless it's a Godfather offer. And I think if they keep it, it's an absolute done deal at 4. They're taking Harrison. And there was some smoke in Arizona.
Good price on that now. There's a lot of Neighbors love.
Listen, I think Neighbors is great. I don't think he's going to Arizona. And I think part of the fact of Harrison doing almost no pre-draft process stuff whatsoever is basically Arizona telling him that they're going to take him number 1. So for me, I think Harrison at 4. There's even a little, I think it's gotten a little cheaper. And I've added a little bit as it's gotten a little cheaper. So I think that to me is worth a bet. If you got some out there, minus 150, minus 160 out there, I would feel confident, unless there's a absolutely ridiculous offer to the Cardinals, that he's going to be their guy.
All right. I'll trust you. That'll be my second draft bet. The other one I bet was I followed GRP, the over 4.5 quarterbacks.
That was a good.
I got CLV, so I got a plus money sign next to it. What is it, minus? I don't know what's going to happen. I actually agreed with it. So
Chuck, I know. Maybe I should have kept that, but honestly, it's gotten so short where I think minus 200 or better is like, you're going to get 3 QBs, and the only way I think they don't take him is they get some absurd offer for, I don't know, like, I don't see that. Again, I know McCarthy's got a lot of, I just don't see somebody paying an insane premium to get to 4 to take them when they seem pretty locked in on Marvin Harrison.
All right. Thank you for that. That is Joey Knish. Caden Owens in the chat. How do you guys factor in a school that doesn't traditionally get 5-star quarterbacks in your power rankings? Nebraska with Dylan Raiola. Got to see the spring game. I got to watch it and see how he fits in. Market's pretty bullish on them. Man, I got to see it, because I mean, their win total is now 7.5.
Yeah.
That's asking for them to do something that they haven't done in more than a half a decade. They haven't even been bowl eligible, and now you're expecting them to win 8 games. Now, you would think after 6 or 7 straight years of being, when you talk about close games, probably having the most unfortunate luck of any program, maybe in college football history. Maybe they'll get on the good side of that for a change. I do think the schedule is quite favorable for Nebraska. I do like Matt Rule. I gotta at least see a little bit of tape on them, and then I'll make my decision. I gotta be honest though. Right now, I'm leaning under 7.5, man. Going 8-4 is asking a lot of a program that hasn't been able to get to 6 wins in 7 years.
Yeah, and I don't know. And again, I know Rayola, friend of the program, Bud Elliott, really liked his potential. A little bit of a weird. I mean, he was a guy, I know, well documented, 4 different high schools
in like 2 years.
Yeah,
28
4
months.
different high schools, 3 different commitments.
Good job, Zach. Love it. You're in mid-season form.
Pulling that up quick. I don't know if I would want to bank on if he's going to be and I'm not sure he's a lock to be my guess is they told, they made him some type of promises to get him, at Nebraska. But I don't love, especially if he's going to be the guy, then I would I like under even more so, because I don't think as a freshman quarterback, you're going to walk in to an offense that's not exactly plug and play, that has not been very good. And if there's a detriment into the rule hiring the OC Satterfield, like that, the offense is kind of being the chink in the armor there on any Matt Rule team, and thinking that he's going to come in. And as you said, schedule wise, again, it's not. They didn't get the worst draw in the Big Ten. They got, a couple of the California schools, which should be down. But they still got, a baked-in loss at Ohio State, a couple of games at Wisconsin and Iowa that you're going to call coin flips. How many true, like, absolute wins would you say they have on their schedule? Probably like 2 or 3. And then a bunch of coin flips and a game that you'll need them, to win as a short dog to get to 8. So, yeah, it would be, I agree with you. Want to see the spring, but would be leaning under as well.
Yeah, and also, I mean, again, this is in the weeds. Just from what I've seen, Nebraska pricing off season, they have a pretty excitable fan base, and their prices tend to get more positive as the summer goes along with Nebraska. So I think I think you hold and maybe get a better price on under 7.5. Maybe get a rogue 8 out there. I doubt that, but I'm just in wait to see that. But I'm a little bit on the pessimistic side on that. But still, 6-7 wins, getting no bowl eligibility has to be a must for this year's Nebraska team. Have to get to a bowl game, period, or it's a complete failure. Mike in the chat, always a long time listener and viewer and supporter of the show. Mike Vivian,
enjoy the SEC, Mikey.
Yeah, I love Mike V. He's always I like him a lot. Sonny Cumbie was on my Southwest flight yesterday. Not sure I can back a team with a coach flying Southwest. I agree. That's funny. So kudos there, Mike. And I think he said he ran his model as far as his women's college basketball model. And his model says he found out that LSU played in the SEC. So he agrees.
Yeah, he's in. Load up. That's all it takes, baby. Just SEC, you get the swag on there, and it's good to go.
This is a poor example, and people are going to cut me up, but I don't know. It just reminds me of like Notre Dame being favored over Alabama or something. I'm like, I mean, come on. I hate making it like a race thing, but I mean, come on. It's like the Generals with one great player favored over the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, come on. I think LSU's going to kill them. That's just me. I watched it. I literally watched it last year. I mean, it was just they destroyed them. And most of the same players are back. In fact, I think LSU got a little bit better, even though they haven't played like it all season. Charles in the chat, Colorado 50-1 to win the Big 12. Any actual conference futures that you guys like, or some teams that you're higher on the most in general? I'll say this: I haven't bet any conference futures because the 2 books that usually offer the best future odds, or at least the least amount of theoretical holds, Circa and Westgate, they haven't opened up yet. So I haven't jumped into that market. There hasn't been anything pound on the table. Oh, I got to bet that. I'm never going to get a price anything close to that. I will say this: if there's one conference where you want to bet a long shot, I think the Big 12 is that conference. I could see any one of 10 or 12 teams winning that conference this year.
I will agree with both. I have not bet any conference futures either. The conference ones that are out there, the hold's pretty steep. It's only the four majors now. Nothing that I've really wanted to jump in and get a good price down. If Colorado, I would have been more bullish on them had they been a little bit more successful in acquiring talent. Like I just don't think in terms of the portal so far, like what they've gotten through the portal, the recruiting class, which was very, very thin. Not that you're expecting a ton of freshmen to come in, but I just don't, again, could you have seen like Shadur year 2 and kind of everything building up to it? Like you could have sold me on that last year, but after seeing kind of how they finished the season, some of Dion's, quick trigger with Sean Lewis there, them not total. I know they've tried to revamp the offensive line. That's hard to do in the portal. That's really hard to do. You're not talking a ton of quality there. They brought in a bunch of, some lower school guy. I know, again, I see what they've tried to do. I just don't think they're going to be successful enough to get to a Big 12 championship game, where I know you've got the two big dogs out there now, but you've got, 8, 9 teams that you would say are going to be favored over Colorado on a neutral ahead of them. So not for me. I would need a longer price to get involved there.
This is a good one. A couple of them here. Spammy Sosa in the chat. Any concern for Oregon after losing their running back coach to Ohio State today? Running back coach for me isn't gonna change my team power rating too much. I will say this: for a team that has a bunch of Nike money and is now, in a big time conference, man, their coach is getting poached, man. This isn't a first time thing for Oregon. Their last couple of head coaches have been poached. Maybe they're not committed, and maybe them pockets from Mr. Knight aren't as deep as what you think. So Ohio State's all in this year, buddy. I don't know if you know this, but their pockets are deep for 2024. To say the least.
It's amazing what a Michigan national title would do to those donor calls when you're looking for extra NIL. All of a sudden, they answered the bell, and I think you nailed it right there. Is their running back got poached by a rival, and so they dipped back in where they've been, all in spending the money, and said, let's go get us a running back coach from a big time school. So I agree with you. I think they basically made Ryan Day's year, beat Michigan or national title or bust in terms of, I had a guy who one of the guys I bet with at Texas A&M, when Jimbo was going out and they were spending all that money, and it was like, that way you either know you got the guy or you move on. Either, it's like, why would you do this if you're going to move on from one? You give them everything, and if you can't come through in that environment, then you got to cut ties and start over and pay the buyout. So you saw what happened with Jimbo, and I think if Ryan Day doesn't get this done, he'll meet the same fate.
Has to be Michigan. Loses the Michigan game. He could be 11-0, lose that game, and I would be like, nah, I don't know.
Could he though? Lose to Michigan, but win the national title, win the playoff, and keep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, he almost did it 2 years ago.
I know,
literally a field goal away.
Imagine the difference in the overall mentor. The guy's now fighting for his life this year, but instead he'd have a national championship in the pocket.
DT plus points in the chat. Bowling Green win total. Not up yet. I have bet it the last couple of years. I'm not expecting, unless somebody puts out a stupid number. I don't think I'm going to bet it this year. I'm expecting it to be around 6. So I don't anticipating betting it. I was on the under last year, and they overachieved, to say the least. Lost a couple of their best players. Speaking of Texas A&M, one of their best pass rusher went to A&M. Their best corner, I think, went to Maryland. Other than that, they're okay. They're doing a decent job there. Bowl eligible type team. Trip in the chat, is the basketball Final Four a foreshadowing of the college football 12-team playoff? A couple of random teams might sneak in the semis, but that's when they meet Georgia, Ohio State, and the Dream Ends. I don't think so, because keep in mind, to get in the playoff, keep in mind, NC State was basically like a 6-6 team that went on a run in a conference tournament, and I'm equating a 6-6 record to football. and they went on running a conference tournament. You don't have conference tournaments. So I don't see with college football, very tough. Maybe some team wins the first round game, but I don't see them winning multiple games. I mean, the difference between the haves and the have-nots is tremendous. A TCU can win one game, then you ask them to win multiple. We saw what happened there. They can beat Michigan one week, and the next week they're just annihilated. So
No, you nailed it there. It's a different sport. Basketball, there's just more 3-point variance in that in terms of like just having a team be a little bit more capable of an upset like that or pulling it off. Football and especially a smaller school can get 3 or 4 guys like a Florida Atlantic the last few years where 3 or 4 guys they built up the program and they make a run last year. Football you need 40 guys to to really get through it. And as you're saying now, and we've talked about teams now with more depth, you're playing more games, teams with more quality depth are going to be even more dangerous there. And that's always the teams at the top. So yeah, I don't see it. And that's why we don't, even before that, we're not really big on national title futures to begin with. And it's for a lot of these reasons where it's that the cream is still going to rise to the top in the most part.
You want a long shot, like maybe an Ole Miss can get to the Final Four type of thing.
That's right, and that's right. It's
still
like,
going to be a preseason top 10 team. I mean, that's a long shot as far as I'm concerned in college football. You're not going to see. I don't expect that. I'll be honest with you. I don't expect the Group of 5 team to have much success. I just don't. They're going to be playing on a road game. That gap is getting wider. We mentioned the Massachusetts, but even the widening between a Memphis and a Boise State compared to the playoff type teams, that gap is getting wider. It's not Boise State, Chris Peterson able to win a game or two in the playoff. I don't even think we're seeing that. Going to see that coming up here. We'll see though. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating. A couple more here questions. First off, hit like and subscribe if you like the stream. You want us to continue to do these off-season shows. Again, we'll have more actionable stuff. We have a transfer portal coming up, so that's why we've been a little light as far as jumping in win totals and a bunch of stuff. I am expecting the portal to be extensive here coming up.
And hopefully once the March Madness ends here, you think we'll get some more liquidity on these, future. I think you'll see some more people jump in with more stuff. We know Circus coming in May, but I think you'll even see some more legals jump in with more win totals, more stuff, and we can at least start to be giving out positions that people can actually get here. If we give out one thing, it's going to get smashed at one button, then people aren't going to be able to really have access to it.
I mean, it's just about a month from now is what I'm trying to tell people. A month from now, it should be good to go. Couple more here in the chat. Charles in the chat. I guess Shador Sanders got a new Cybertruck yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, it must be. I'm sure that's all just donor money.
Yeah. Not wild about Colorado. Do you like over 5.5? Right.
You want to go? Hold on.
I think 5.5's fair. I mean,
it's too early.
I'm not going to pass post. I'm not going to pass post and tell people what I bet because I have bet over and under Colorado's win total already, and I don't think you ever see them prices anytime soon or ever again. So
I'm going over. I just had to double check the schedule. I'm going over, baby.
Are you? Let's go head to head. I'll go under. Right. I'll be negative. I'll be the you are Prime's white son, so I'll be the hater. I'll be the hater. I'll go under. 5.5. We'll go head to head there. There we go. Some more action. Charles also in the chat. A couple of places gave out May number 2 today. Who the fuck's giving out NFL draft props? What services are giving out? My boy Hitman's not even getting them out anymore because there's no liquidity.
Yeah,
was it one of the podcasts?
I don't know who gave it. I didn't hear that or see that. Obviously, I saw a little bit of movement there, but I don't know. To me, I wouldn't feel it's that ETR.
ETR did
figures, but I wouldn't feel I don't know, just I'm not confident enough in that to want to get down on that position at the moment.
Yeah, I know you love ETR.
Yeah.
They do good work, but I know you specifically love ETR's market entry. You got to love that.
Nothing like 30 seconds after where it's getting released to the side. So that's been great. Also, Silva just completely half-assing his career the last 2 years. So he's really mailed it in here and trying to take the check out. So but honestly, they do legitimately have some smart people there. But I don't know. To me, I wouldn't be running just my own personal.
Yeah, I haven't heard. No one's told me to I'm not afraid. I mean, NFL draft, I'm not afraid to lay $10 to win a buck if I know the information's concrete.
For sure.
So I don't worry about missing the absolute best of the number on stuff. And again, I think that sweet spot, 5 to 10 days out of the draft, is when I make a lot of bets. RW fan in the chat, will never be a group of 5 team in the Natty. I'm waiting until late summer when Fez posts a slip on no group of 5 team in the Natty. He's right, though. I mean,
he's right. Just the way
college football, they're not going to be able to win 4 games.
No, and the group of 5 is now with unless I don't know how they're going to solve this, but it's an issue with college basketball too. I don't know if they're going to go to player contracts to keep people there for multiple years or at some point, but you can't probably legally do that while they're a part of the school. So I don't know how you solve it, but the group of 5 is just going to be this feeder system for all the big schools where it's going to be worse. The group of 5 is getting worse generally. And because all of their good players are feeding up to the power 4. So I don't know. I don't know why that, I agree with you. It's not going to get any. I mean, you look at last year's compare the Boise team that beat Oklahoma however many years ago to last year's group of 5 entrant where it was Liberty and that it's not trending well for them.
No, it's not. Connor in the chat, has the mega women's basketball lock dropped yet? Assuming it's got to be LSU. Yes, it's LSU. I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't get how I was favored diving into it. Surprise DraftKings hasn't released their win totals yet. This is Brent. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. They did release NFL. Speaking of win totals, we'll talk NFL. Did you bet any win totals in the NFL from DraftKings? They released all 32. Was that last week?
I have not yet. I know, to be honest with you, I thought wasn't there anything that I was extremely jump into. I know a couple other places were open too, but I didn't. NFL win totals usually I don't too strongly partake in, a couple here and there, but especially this sort of anything you got from.
I didn't get anything, but I like looking at the moves. I don't originate it. Tennessee opened 4.5. It's up to 6.5. So that must have been pretty good. A couple others that moved. Steelers 7.5 to 8.5. Falcons under 10.5 down to 9.5. That seems right. Dolphins 10.5 down to 9.5. Commanders 7.5 down to 6.5. That makes sense. Those are the 5 that have moved to win. So that's it. Not too much movement. Some movement on the juice, but yeah, that Tennessee one, you'd like to have 2 wins on that one.
I did not see that, but that's if you got 4.5 there, that was
the one that is stunning after literally a quarter century of being the franchise. New England 4.5.
And 4.5.
That is unbelievable. Grant. The mega lock is LSU. LSU +2. Half at +2. Half at money line. So that's how I bet it. Love it. Trying to think. No Lions over for you?
It's funny. A couple people have asked me. I know it was mostly 10.5s were out there. You can get a little bit actually plus money now on 10.5. It didn't jump off the page. The one that, and I haven't filled, was I honestly waiting to see if we could potentially get a 9. Probably not. I'm going to go Bears under. I talked about this on the show with YB.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't think Caleb Williams is the type of guy that's going to be in a position year one to have a CJ Stroud type year. And I sometimes with the NFL, I bet against organizations. I don't like that they brought back Eberflus. I don't like the Bears org top to top. I know they've added talent and I know Brent's going to troll me with Bears, but and also Lions and Packers are going to be two of your top 4 teams in the, the NFC, two of your top 4. And then the Vikings also have, I like the Vikings organization just better than the Bears organization. I like their coach better. So, yeah, I'm going to.
That's the one that stood out. I'm not saying this just to agree with you for content. Looking over it, that's the one that stood out to me. I kind of like the under there.
I agree, especially at that price. I was hoping for maybe, a lot of places don't do the, even wins there. You have to, only certain books do it, but I'd love a 9 at reasonable juice. I don't see 10 in any scenario. So if I get a 9, that'll definitely be me. But I would, if we were a few months closer, I'd play some of that plus money on 8.5. But that'll be one I'm on the lookout for. I agree.
Charles active in the chat today. Brad versus Book It with Trent. Does that mean Book It with Trent's on Iowa?
Oh baby, if he
then
is,
I'm gonna read that
more LSU.
More. So now we got a double, like fire all the nukes. Like I mean, so yeah. I again, I asked a couple guys. I was like, give me a legitimate reason, and they couldn't give me one other than the fix is in. Then they expect the calls to go Iowa's way. Come on. Unbelievable. Love LSU. Anything else to close it out? A couple announcements. No show next week. I'm actually going to be in your neck of the woods. I'm a nerd.
The tour is starting, right?
Yeah, the tour is starting. I'm going early, a couple days early, because I'm a nerd and I'm going to experience the solar eclipse. Nothing happens for my parents. Yeah, the family farm is actually in that like 50-mile radius, like window where it's going to be total eclipse. So I'm gonna go home for that, see what that's like. Gonna go to Ohio State, Notre Dame, Indiana. Gonna do UNLV before I leave this weekend here, and then I'm gonna try when I come back Arizona State. So I'm gonna try to do 6 spring games in person and probably watch 50 of them. So I'll have more concrete, definitive. I love under, I love over these win totals after the next couple of weeks. So we'll see. I'm going to be back that way for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to try a couple weeks from today to do it on the family farm. I'm not going to make any promises. It's like going back in time 30 years. I don't know the internet connection there and see if we can do a show, but that'll be interesting from the family farm. I'll try to get it with like the barn in the background and stuff. So that'll be we'll have to do something like that. But other than that, man, I got nothing else. Go Tigers tonight.
Just a tough Rod Moore ACL for Michigan. Brutal. It came back, man, especially because Keon Sabb, this is in the weeds, but left for Alabama because Rod Moore came back and he wasn't going to get a starting job. So Michigan down 2 safeties there. I saw even our game of the year line has even drifted out to the 9.5 there. So
oh yeah, that Fez said he bet it. He heard you jumped off the stream, and then we started talking. He asked me about Michigan football, and his group went ahead and agreed with me and bet under.
Oh, under on the
more positive.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that it's a tough. He was probably going to be their best player on defense, and the captain of the defense guy that did all the signals and stuff. So you can't really replace that. So it's a tough loss.
One more for the road. RW fan, when does the transfer portal close? It's not open right now. It's just that the guys that are hitting the portal are like grad transfers. They can transfer whenever. Some great system we got.
Yeah, 4 guys announcing that they're going to go into the portal.
Yeah, that's what we're getting. Yeah, I believe. Don't quote. I'm 90%. It's the 15th through the 30th, I want to say, of April. So there's still going to be teams in spring practice. Portal's open. I'm sure there'll be guys that, he's at practice today. He's in the portal the next day. We're going to see it. I'm telling you, that's what's going to go down here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I think it's the 15th through the 30th. And then again, that's the key day for me is after that closes, I can watch some spring games. May 1st, 1 month from today, we'll start left and right. You know me, I'm not afraid to make bets and give out plays this time of year. Just give me 1 month. That'll do it. Oh wow! Yeah.
You guys on the same wavelength there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness!
I mean, might start. We might have to add another weekly show. The the GRP and BP hour or something. I mean,
I don't. That hurts right there. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Honestly, I'm gonna let it ride. It'll be my biggest college basketball bet of the year. I see. You see the top response there. That's all I'm getting. They're gonna. The refs are gonna be. Come on. I don't believe in that. I don't.
It's every
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mr. Notebook. He wins. He's not a big winner, but he wins enough to eat out 3 times a day. So I mean, where's that money coming from? So my goodness. Yeah, I'm with GRP. I like LSU. That'll do it. For the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joey Knish, producer extraordinaire with the breaking news. Glad to have him back, Zach Phillips. I'm merely Brad Powers. You just watched Hit the Books, part of the Hammer Betting Network.
Go, lady.